What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your host, Sage. Y'all already know. So I'm back. Finally, I'm back to reviewing these episodes. So now we're finally on episode 7. So I think we should be a little more than halfway done with the season. And if you guys have not checked it out, yesterday I uploaded a compilation of the last 3 episode reviews, 4 through 6. It's like a podcast edition. So if you want to know what I think about the last 3 episodes, 4, 5, and 6, it will be there on that podcast. And it is a different format because I was doing it over on Mo Visuals. So if you're curious and you want to get all the way caught up, then go watch that. If not, it won't make a difference because we're here. We're at episode 7. And I'm ready to keep it pushing and keep reviewing Baddies West. So I will back up a little bit and go back to episode 6 at the end because that's where we start off. We know that Kat supposedly brings Stunna Girl to talk to Biggie, and it really seems like a production setup to me. It wouldn't make sense for Kat to try to set them up to talk because honestly, they've already talked. So whatever it is they were going to say, they've already said. There was no reason to do that. But I have been keeping an ear to all the things going on outside of the show. And it does seem like, per Stunna Girl and Kat, that this was a production setup. But on these reviews, I try to keep it more so what we see. So when I give my opinion on what's going on in the reviews, it's based off of what I see, right? So we're here on these steps. Stunna was like, why are we here? Biggie was like, I don't know. Like, I don't like you, this, that. You lay on your back. Stunna Girl starts with her, you're a fat bitch. So at some point, a member from production walks up to Stunna Girl to fix her mic because I guess the battery was dying. And at this point in the argument is when Stunna Girl says, plenty bitches say they've been fucking you. And for whatever reason, this is what sets Biggie off. Me personally, I feel like Biggie had so much time, space, and opportunity to swing on Stunna Girl if she wanted to because she has been saying things that are way worse than that, like calling Biggie a man. I would think that that would be the last straw. So then we have some type of wrestling match, some type of WWE starter course, some type of karate, local children's fight club ensemble ensue catastrophically. They wrestling. They not doing no fighting. It ain't really nobody hitting each other. Stunna Girl's pulling hair. Biggie's just restraining her. Of course, she's bigger than her. She looks like she's stronger than her. So Stunna Girl really was no match for Biggie anyway. If Biggie actually wanted to fight her, they went 3 rounds, and all that was actually done was Stunna Girl ended up getting the inside of her nose cut by Biggie's ring, and that was from the initial punch. Like nothing else really took place. I'm not sure if Biggie was just trying to hold back. There was one time where it seemed like she tried to hit her, but it went behind her head. Like this was really just a waste of time. The whole thing was just a waste of time. Y'all could have kept that where it was at. There was no reason to be doing all of this. Now folks got scratches on them, your wig messed up, your sew-in messed up, the thread coming out the bag. And then it's like while they're fighting, they're just throwing insult after insult after insult to each other. And it's the same thing they've been saying for the past 7 episodes. And it's really tiring. Biggie talking about she paid Dusties like Stunna Girl to twerk at her events. And girl, I'm like, if I ever worked for you and I was a dancer or a host at one of your events in the past, I'd be feeling some type of way right now. Like, excuse me? You got Stunna's milk makers holding on for dear life in that little bitty shirt. Biggie with her Spanish. And this is the first time I've understood a couple of things that she said. So maybe we getting somewhere. Maybe Biggie's Spanish is actually helping us more than we think. So at some point, Tommy does come to the door, as well as Natalie, and they're just calling out for Biggie to stop because Biggie is on one. And Tommy actually looks really good this episode. But it's like so much going on, but at the same time, it's nothing at all. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm so tired of Stunna Girl in this 2-piece wig. If Stunna would listen and take some sound words from somebody, one out of the 2 things I wish she would get help with is her styling. Because she's so cute, but some of these wigs, the makeup, the styling choices could definitely be upgraded, especially since you're like, Stunna Girl, you have a name for yourself, especially out in the West. You walking up to people like they're supposed to know who you are. I would just assume, you could come a little bit better with your styling choices. Absolutely no shade at all. I'm just saying. She's not the only one though. But it is what it is. So Stunna feels like Tommy had Biggie come out to fight her. I'm not sure if that was even the case. This seems like something set up by the producers that we don't know of, the producers off the screen. So when Biggie walks over to Tommy and Natalie, she's talking all this Spanish and Natalie laughing like she know what this girl is saying. And that's how you know Natalie ass just be there. Because girl, you know you don't know what this girl is saying. Girl, you know you just laughing because you laugh at everything. It don't matter who you talking about. You could be talking about Natalie's mom, probably. As long as it's probably not her daughter, you can be talking about anybody and Natalie will sit there and do that laugh she be doing. So I'm starting to get tired of Biggie with the overuse of this N-word. My girl, ain't you Dominican? Both parents or just one? Because you sure do use this word a lot. Biggie threatening the production team, like, girl, you know good and well you ain't finna bust a grape nor pop a berry on nobody on Zeus's team. And also, I just want to know, why are we so worried about Stunna Girl's coochie? Who is she supposed to be boinking for bucks? Don't she have a man? Is there something else we need to know, Biggie? Because I doubt that if you knew more information that you wouldn't say something, because whatever it is you got against Stunna Girl, I'm pretty sure you would say it. So again, why do we care about Stunna Girl, Samoan, Mexican, black, choochie? Can we find other insults between the two of y'all other than fat bitch and you take dick all D? Like, it's really tired. What were they supposed to be filming with these Party City lights? Biggie in the kitchen reveals that the past few nights when they go out, Stunna Girl will be petty and throw up the middle finger at her and Tommy, which I could see her doing. Sky's face right here in this scene is so funny to me because during this episode, Stunna Girl claims that off camera she and Biggie talked and that Stunna Girl asked Biggie if there's a problem they need to fight out, and Biggie said no, there's no longer a problem between them. And during this whole conversation, Sky was right there and was witness to all of it, and she co-signed on Instagram that yeah, Stunna Girl walked up to Biggie and Biggie was like there's no issue, and that was before this whole fight happened. So that just makes Sky's face right here even more hilarious. Tommy eating her food in her own world. Biggie says Stunna Girl feels like she's better than other people. And this is where I start to feel like some of the problem between Stunna Girl and Biggie, like part of the reason why Biggie doesn't like her, stems from some type of personal issue, because maybe she reminds her of somebody or something, because Biggie keeps saying, well, don't think you better than me because you laid on your back and got it quicker than I did. What is it that she got quicker than you? Because Stunna is a rapper and you're not. You're a party promoter. So there's nothing there for you to think that she got quicker than you did. And on top of that, Stunna Girl, no shade or anything, because clothes are meant to be worn more than once. But she does rewear a lot of her clothes. So, you know, I mean, like, it's not like she appears to have hundreds of thousands of dollars or $1 million, you know. So what is it that she has over you? Biggie says her pussy better than Stunna Girl's, but girl, how you know? Stunna Girl and Kat are trying to get Stunna's nose together out in the back house, which I thought that was kind of weird because the back house is where Tommy has been staying at. So how is it okay for Stunna Girl to be in the back house that Tommy has been staying at? I'm confused. But anyway, her and Kat are back there trying to get her together because, like I said, Biggie scraped the inside of her nose with her ring, and Kat starts talking about she didn't know it was going to be like that. She wishes that her energy was different, which is the same thing that she said about Tommy when Natalie set up Tommy and Stunna Girl to talk. Why would you ever think that it was going to play out well between these two? Like I said, they already talked. And at this point, Kat is really starting to get on my nerves. Now, y'all know that I like Kat, but on Baddies, she's not doing herself any justice. First of all, you're doing things that don't make any sense. What do you mean you didn't know that it was going to be like that? What else did you think was going to happen? Then you're saying things like you wish their energy was different. What type of energy did you think that Tommy and Biggie were going to have for Stunna Girl? And what type of energy did you think that Stunna Girl was going to give back to them? Whether production set it up or not, you know, you brought Stunna Girl over there to Biggie and then left. And then earlier in the season, it was a whole, well, I'm not going to let them jump you. And then the girl got jumped. And from episode 1 to the middle of episode 7, this whole time, everything about Kat has to do with Stunna Girl. And I've said this plenty of times in my last couple of reviews. I'm tired of this whole Stunna Girl and everybody's situation because I can't even get to know Kat. I can't get to know Biggie. It took a long time at first to see Tommy outside of that light. And I'll even go and say, you know, with Stunna Girl, we can't get to know anybody because everybody's so stuck on this whole Stunna Girl situation. Both Kat and Lauren, like, y'all have grown into better women, and you come on this ratchet ass show that's very, very low, very, very ratchet. Y'all are expecting things to be certain ways, and you're not researching what this show was about. You're not realizing who it is that you're teaming up with to be on this show. I don't know who Natalie is outside of Bad Girls Club and Baddies and off of the camera, but there's no way y'all didn't think that y'all was gonna come here and be on this show and it's not about fighting. But we gonna get to Low in a minute. So back to Stunna Girl and Cat. Stunna's throwing insults still at Biggie about Biggie, talking about she gonna keep getting beat up. But Stunna Girl, I don't know why you think you're beating these folks up. Ain't nobody on this season really got beat up for real. Not yet. Natalie trying to have a one-on-one talk with Stunna Girl. I don't know why. So now we're moving on, and the girls are about to head to Arizona. So we have the bus on the ground, and we have a private jet in the air. And on the bus on the ground, we have producer Tommy, Biggie, Cat, Sky, Rolly, and then on the private jet we have producer Natalie, and we have Stunna Girl, Lauren, Scotty, and Razor. So on the bus, it's a whole vibe. So before all the rest of the girls even get on the bus, Tommy calls Biggie over so that they can hit up Forever 21 and buy some cute pajama sets, face masks, lip masks, and things of that nature, because Tommy wants it to be like a sleepover. And I thought that was such a cute idea. It was giving big sis, little sis. It was such a good vibe. There was no cattiness. There was no fighting, no arguing. Like, it was such a cute moment to add some balance into everything that we've been seeing. So they get the pajamas for the other girls. You know, the other girls do join the bus. They're turning up, they're having fun. And Tommy talking about someone, we finna go in CVS and whoever can steal the most expensive item. Child, I don't know what Tommy is thinking, having these girls steal. And we also know that didn't nobody really steal nothing. Zeus definitely either told the CVS, you know, whatever, or paid for the stuff first and then put it out for them to steal it. We know it's fake, but still, it's cute content or whatever. And like I said, it's a vibe. Like, it wasn't much going on for me to talk about other than it was just a cute little vibe. Now, on the private jet, however, things take a turn. Now, initially, all the girls are turning up. They're having fun and everything. But for some reason, Razor thinks it's appropriate to ask Stunna Girl if she can get over the things that are going on between her and Tommy. And there's nothing wrong with her asking that or voicing her opinion. She did the same thing to Tommy and said the exact same words. So it's not like, you know, she's picking on Stunna Girl or she's being flip-floppy or anything like that. She has every right to, as a cast member, speak her mind, right? Nothing wrong with that. What I'm not getting is, you have been here with this girl for, what are we at, like 4 or 5, 6 days or something like that at this point. You've seen how she has responded to people. You have peeped her personality. What in the world makes you think that she's going to be in a space to where she can receive what you're trying to tell her? Even if you have good intent, even if you're not being disrespectful, even if you mean all the well in the world, you may be the wrong messenger for her. And you've seen so much of this girl to know that. So what makes you think that this doesn't have the possibility of turning into something else? Like, I get it. She should be able to say what she wants to say as long as it's not disrespectful, just like anybody else, to anybody on the cast. But I'm not understanding why waste your breath. Stunna Girl literally just sat there with Natalie and said that she's not ready to grow up yet. I think once Stunna Girl and Tommy came together in the kitchen with Natalie and Kat, I feel like most of us here can agree, whether you like this one or that one, the conversation should have went in a different way and it should have been squashed. Tommy should have admitted to throwing the drink on the girl because there was proof right there on the phone. And whether or not Tommy admitted to it, Stunna should have just took that initiative to just move on, because at that point it's just tired, it's old. Y'all don't have to like each other. Y'all already fought. There's nothing more to be done or said after that, right? I think we can all agree on that. Stunna Girl is who she is, and she doesn't really know how to or care to communicate in a way that would just squash any type of beef she would have with somebody. And let's be 100% real. When it comes to Stunna Girl, she's not too much different than Krishan. They both have some of those similar qualities, except the only difference is Krishan can fight. So if Stunna Girl was out here knocking bitches out left and right, I feel like a lot of people who claim they don't like her would have a completely different tune. If this was Krishan, would nobody say nothing regardless of how they felt because they would be scared. Stunna Girl said that her issue is that Tommy won't take accountability for what exactly she did, and it's gonna keep going up until she does, and that's her prerogative. Tommy feels like she didn't do anything, which we saw that she did throw the drink or whatever, but she at least tried to approach the situation in an adult manner, or as much as adult manner as she could, and it didn't go nowhere. So she gonna stay in her producer bag and move on, or whatever it is that she's doing. That's her prerogative. I don't understand the need to, as Razor, somebody who literally just almost cost Rolly, Tommy, Krishan, and Stunna Girl their bag, their performance bag. You literally got in their way of their gig that they had because you want to run amok through the house off that Casamigo. So you're the wrong messenger, and it just comes down to, like, know your place, know where you stand with people, and you won't have the issue that you just had in a private jet. Because why are we snatching wigs and fighting in a private jet? Now, Lauren, on the other hand, I think I heard Lauren at some point say something like, it doesn't look good on us when we have a booking and y'all are fighting. Like, she was agreeing to that note. But then that's where I gotta say, Lo, like, you should have done research on what kind of show you were signing up for, because while you're not wrong, again, like, that's the same thing I was saying, like, know your place, but just literally, physically know your actual place. Know what type of show you're on. That's why when Stunna Girl be acting up and doing the things that she be doing, I don't be like, oh my God, because it's like, I know what type of show I'm watching, so I'm not gonna sit up here and complain about Stunna Girls fighting, and Stunna Girls fighting, especially when Natalie herself, I've said this 10 times over, Natalie basically said that to be on this show, you have to fight. You can't even be a producer on the show if you don't want to fight. There was plenty of people, plenty of girls that were worth being on this show who came to the auditions, but they felt like they wasn't gonna turn up, they wasn't gonna fight, they wasn't the right fit, so they didn't bring them on the show. So therefore, I know what show I'm tuning into every Sunday at 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever time Zeus unorganized ass want to put the damn episode out. I know what I'm finna get, so I'm not finna sit up here in my review and complain. Like, it is what it is. So Lauren, why are you complaining about people fighting? They're going to fight. This is the show that you're on. And another thing, even though I addressed this in my last little podcast compilation or whatever, another thing Lo did that irritated me too is she was talking about how Sky on the last episode just randomly started performing her song and was just talking about it like, oh yeah, it looks bad because I'm sure y'all had certain names on the flyer. But was your name on the flyer for the last show that y'all was on? Like, again, the opinions that these girls are having aren't making any sense. But let's get back to Razor. So we don't get to see exactly how the fight starts between Razor and Stunna Girl. And of course, depending on, what your opinion is of either one, different people are going to have different ideas of what may have transpired. But I'm going to keep it real. It seemed like Razor did her thing where she just got belligerently drunk. Because when they were talking, even though Razor was saying what she was saying and Stunna Girl was saying what she was saying, the conversation ended. Like, Natalie basically did the conversation. Stunna Girl was laughing about it. They cheered, toasted, whatever it is that they did or whatever. Like, it was over with. And once Razor and Stunna Girl got into a fight, you can hear Stunna Girl say, like, you're not going to get in my face and start yelling at me. So I'm inclined to believe, just based off what we have seen previously, Razor probably, thought she had something to say and Stunna Girl wasn't receiving it, and she thought she should probably be receiving it, and then she got that liquor in her. And it just went from there. That's my opinion. That's what I think happened. Y'all can let me know what y'all think happened. And that was pretty much the entire episode. I do want to start doing, for the remainder of this season, I want to start having like star players. So my star player for this episode is definitely going to be Tommy, because Tommy is really on her producer thing. Like, she's really giving producer, she's giving grown woman. And I may not agree with everything that she does, but Tommy, I feel like, aside from the situation with Stunna Girl and everything, I feel like she has really stepped it up as far as, the way that she conducts herself. Because other than that, everybody else is pretty much getting on my nerves. The people who I do like on the show are getting on my nerves. The people who I'm neutral about on the show are getting on my nerves. The people who I don't like on the show are getting on my nerves. It's like a whole lot of something, but but it's also giving nothing. But it's giving a little something, enough to put on Zeus, but it's giving a lot of nothing. I will check my email and my credit score before I look up to see what is going on with Biggie and Stunna for the 19th time. But I have to watch the whole thing over again so I can do the review for y'all. Now, I usually read off some comments from my previous review, but since I've been going and everything, you know, I'm not going to do that this time. We're going to start fresh with the next review. So you guys drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know your opinions. And I will pick some of the comments to answer to in next week's video. And with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.
And if you call me a bitch, make sure you put Baddies in front of it.
She back to the bone.